Are we back? Is it working now? I can't tell. I guess we're back. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I hope it doesn't drop again. I'm gonna stop rambling about Splatoon because that appears to be what cursed me. Okay. Back to the case, I guess. Long ramble aside, I like octobrushes a lot. They're my favorite. Okay. I hate Splatoon and also Team Choco Mint, I guess. Okay, alright, let's keep going. Truth is, the Brookmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. Press. Oh, we gotta click back in here.
Hold it!
And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Mrs. Strahd? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats. Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Miss McGilda was the sole passenger, did you not? False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me I had to say. But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilda and the victim acquaintances? I don't know. I did hear him talking a lot. What were they talking about? I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. Kept talking about buying and not buying. Perhaps business dealings of some kind? Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It's blooming loud and all. And I believe he let out an involuntary scream. Yeah, that what gave me away. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor. Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps? I don't know, but McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And then he sat at the cove with a knife and his belly up on the seat. What did he say to you at that time? He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. And he started asking me a load of questions, like what my name was and where I lived and that. Asked me if he'd up being a diver too. After a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed. Yeah, that's right. First it was a kind of rapping noise. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from on my head, and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops. There were 2 gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. That's right. I must have looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. When I screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGill got me out of sight. Out of sight? Where? Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came into an halt, the 2 cows from the roof went off to fetch the slops. If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident. So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene. Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside. The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe. That poor shivering man. A fellow who went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves. What did McGilda and the driver say to each other? I don't know what happened and stuff like that, mainly. Last time McGilda slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout.
Hold it!
That pawn shop obviously being Windibank's on Baker Street. Just a moment, Counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony in that trial as well? Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind when he was in the stand. Indeed, Lord Van Zeeks. McGill took off his coat and gave it to the driver. Ele folded it up all careful-like before I handed it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it has got to be worth a few bob. Yes, Gina was sure that this must be worth more than Miss Winnebago was suggesting, wasn't she? Remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery. The driver looked pretty happy when McGilda flashed some brass in his face, went off running off at a lick. Then the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the drag's cabin. He threatened me not to snitch. Not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Hold it!
Threatened you how, exactly? Told me I'd only be able to scarper for exactly what he said. Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago. Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said. Which was? He told me I have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it. The ticket? Well, I never. So that if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in lug. Stop it being forfeited. Let me with some brass to pay for it. But really, why on earth would Mr. McGilda have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with the pawnbroker before the arrival of the police makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. What Mr. McGilda had the driver deposit Winnebago's was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs. Lunch breaks are always fun on Saturdays because I get to watch a silly game. Oh, hello, Em! Thank you for joining me! I'm glad you're joining us on your lunch break. I hope my connection stays stable this time. There was a couple drops earlier, so I'm hoping that we actually stay running while you're here. Anyway, after that, you let me go, so I liked it before the copper showed up. Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that. Ginny's really put her faith in you, you know? Yes, and to thank her... Oh, wait, hang on, it's the same thing as before. Press on every statement, like we did. And these two are still having the conversation. But they've never reacted to any of her testimony. We have to snitch. Maybe if I press the pawn shop statement again, they'll react this time? Just a moment, give false testimony, blah blah blah. That'll be worth a few bob. Yeah, they didn't react at all to her testimony, from what I remember. How do I interrupt them? Huh. Secret discussion, anything I can do about it? Is there something I can present to get them to stop talking? Yeah, we don't have the coat as evidence in here, so we can't present that the blood was all over it. Hang on. Is there anything as we saw as case notes that's important here? No, not even close. Okay. Stereoscope? No. This is all relating to the murder. I mean, this story isn't relevant, is it? Different bills, what things, different colors. Pawnbroker. Redemption tickets. The box. We've already mentioned that. I'll press everything again and see if there's some sort of reaction. No. Not on this one. Okay, well hang on. What if I just try and interrupt them normally? There's something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon? Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Blimey, you trying to give me a heart attack? You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about? Discussion with this fella? Pull the other one, sunshine. Think I got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this? And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating. Oh, so I was just supposed to, like, regularly pursue. Okay, I get it. Alright, I'm gonna mute real quick so I can take a crunch of my burger, because I have a burger for a snack. Does a burger count as a snack? It does to me. Fuck you. I had a second bite. I didn't realize how hungry I was. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Council. I've heard enough. Back in here. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus. It would appear that on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, Miguel took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life. Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way, although I don't understand why as yet. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilded's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited. I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the cove died right after his trial. I knew that. So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own. Well, why not, eh? They're only going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime. Miss Lestrade, it would appear Miss McGilded was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He's probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime. My lord? Who's this? A Bobby. Oh. The evidence your lordship requested has been located and is ready for the court's inspection, sir. Oh, the box. I forgot. The box. We're here to inspect the box. Okay. You want a burger snack too, Em? I don't know if you have enough time on your break to get one. Otherwise, I would suggest doing it, because I like my burger snack. The mysterious little box deposited by Miss McGilded 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece in this far-reaching puzzle. We were like 10 minutes away from a to be continued last time we left off. Oops! It's fine. I mean, we'll save. We'll take the save. I'm gonna take another bite of my burger. Okay. So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited at the pawnbroker by Miss McGilded 2 months ago? And on the night of Mr. Winnebank's murder. The only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick, quick, let's open it and see what's inside! It's a music box. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Wow, although in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Then, is it too much to expect? I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord. So here we have the means to play back Miss McGilded's disc deposited at Winnebank's at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilded's disc. It was a disc of his victim in the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sake? Always understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Miss McGilded. I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last. Oh, okay. Wait, my lord! Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? The music box and the disc are, well, they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. This may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened. The prosecution has no objection. But no! That piece of evidence is police property now. You can't... Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Ugh. No further delays, please. Play the disc. That's not music. That sounds like an alarm. Or like it's only one half of a piece of music. Like if there was a second disc that could be played at the same time, but music boxes can only play one disc at a time. Oh, Healbot M, that's a good idea. Morse code. Oh fuck, I don't know Morse code! I hope they don't start quizzing me in Morse code! What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in irregular sequence? Mr. Graydon! This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be, can it? Well, obviously, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel? Come on. Yes, alright, it does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? It could be a clue. I think you guys are right with the Morse code. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how could it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the sense of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Oh? I'm not gonna play it again, okay. Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that, the smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. Relevance does this have? Well, unlocks new dialogues. It's probably important somehow, right? Yeah, it's the Ace Attorney thing. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say? You're acting just like Harley, Runo. Objection. The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Sure you have an idea in mind, because if not, It will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness. They've got me. I don't know what the answer is yet.
Bruno, I've just examined the music box very thoroughly, and I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really?
Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Could it be? Is that what those sounds are?
Something's just struck me, Bruno. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes.
Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation. Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. Very smart. Dots, Morse code. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds of the evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box disc is... Hang on a minute. Didn't they say... Sensational story on the lower page. Ministry mole. Classified secrets have been leaked. Secret communications apparently being intercepted by hostile nations. No. Potentially. Potentially. Does anything else have to do with Morse code here? I was hoping we'd get the chance to present a person, because then I could just present the juror who's been typing out in Morse code this whole time. That would be so much easier. But I don't believe that's an option, is it? Let's try the paper.
Take that!
Today's paper, counsel. The headline is Pawnbroker Perishes in Pig Purse Plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down. Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Oh yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams. Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Stop? Me, sir? Whatever is the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports. Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it! Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code? Order! Order! Please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, council, deserving a capital punishment. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason, and what is capital punishment? The sorts of words I'd half expect you to know. For our government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, there was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. But in the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word. In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry, because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it, and in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Miss McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous! Absolutely preposterous! So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Thanks, I need time to go back and think about Borger all day. Have a nice stream. Thank you, Em! I hope you have a good rest of your shift. Oh gosh, I don't even know what you work in, so just keep your chin up. You can survive the shift. I believe in you. Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. That being a most flagitious? Oh, goodness. That being a most flagitious offense, for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may. Uh-huh. Is it Gregson again? No. Okay. Flagitious? Flagitious? Whoa. Person or their actions criminal, villainous. Okay. Alright, I didn't realize these two were still in the stand. Okay. You gotta love us have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say. Oh, I beg your pardon? Who do you think you are? Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell out our motherland. That's right, we're what they call the three Skulkin brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. God. Send help. Graydon's counter. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've no relation to the man. Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night, like what he told us to do. If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it. Okay, alright. I mean, they've been useful witnesses so far, so, like, I'll let them speak, but... Mr. Skulkin. What am I still do, Governor? What's up? Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question, you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? And moreover, you did so as a party of 3, in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here. We did, Gov! We did! That's useful. Quieten down? Okay. Quieten down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to. You little You little rotter, getting us all mixed up in this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job. And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? Poor bloke didn't have to die, did he? Ugh. Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it into the court record as evidence. A small music box has been entered into the court record. This strange music box only appears to be able to play a single tone. It was deposited at Windebake's 2 days before the Black Overcoat. Didn't you guys shoot Holmes? They did shoot Holmes. However, the whole thing was that they were like, oh no, this third guy wasn't here, and now they've suddenly flipped because they're thinking, oh shit, government secrets, send help. They're lucky that Sholmes lived, otherwise they'd be the ones on trial for murder. Well, they'd also be on trial for murder. Graydon's counter. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted. How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop. Must say something. Stop. Let me guess. Juror number 5? We regular communication station officers aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing telegraphs used by the ministry, and Mr. Graydon is the team leader. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idols. Stop. Great. Help us dethrone him. Never meet your heroes, kids. So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. In any case, all messages are sent enciphered. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop, must say something. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now. That's fascinating. Graydon is a highly skilled operator, currently in presence of Idol. Well, your idol would appreciate it if you'd keep your mouth shut. She should really pick her idols more carefully. I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
I'm gonna have another bite of burger real quick, because I want more burger. Yeah, I love going out to eat and like having burgers at like bars or taverns, stuff like that. But there's something about homemade burgers that just so good. And they're normally way less greasy, so that really helps me.
Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even in Morse code.
Oh, no, go back. Alright, pressing.
They're not? To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds. Of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, he looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. Ha ha ha. Oh, here she is again. I'd be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you can construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. This is B. When you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But It sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same in everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
My theory about there being two halves might actually have been on the mark. Like there should be something else being played with it. Ooh. Sholmes took a copy of the disc, didn't he? This is the same disc. I wonder if it's supposed to be played differently? Like it's the same disc, but if you play it a different way? So if we play his copy and our copy at the same time, maybe we can hear it? I don't know. As far as I know, music box discs only go in like the one direction though.
Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future. Stop. Nothing to say but stop.
Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Iris?
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? Oh, hang on. I didn't examine it. Hang on. See how the former gilded disc sits in the music box that the man deposited at See how the former gilded disc sits in the music box that the man deposited at Windibanks. It couldn't be a more perfect fit.
So there's no question then, the disc was designed to be played in this music box.
Yet despite that, the sound it produces are neither musical nor do they appear to have any meaning. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wonder. And perhaps there's more to this music box than meets the eye. Maybe we haven't discovered all its secrets yet. I mean, that looks like a little switch there. What about that?
This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked back by passing bumps. Usually the teeth on the comb are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. I've never seen a music box like it before.
Yes, it is strange. A music box that can only play a single note. There has to be some significance to that, surely.
Okay, and then what about the rest of the mechanism? Oh, nope, it's the same thing. Okay. Alright, then nothing special. Ooh. Button.
Oh,
what is it, Bruno?
I've just noticed something about this music box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well.
You're right! Oh, come on then, what are you waiting for? Let's open it!
Alright then, here goes.
Look at that! There's another movement on the underside!
So, does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so. It looks like the two movements are linked together.
They're linked.
So if you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. That's very important, but we don't have a second disc.
Who thought there'd be a second movement on the other side of the box?
And this movement is like the other one. The comb's teeth are all the same length.
So this movement also only produces a single tone, like the other one.
Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth on the two combs isn't the same, so the single tone produced by this movement will be different to the single tone we've already heard.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
But the notes they produce are different. A music box that can only play two tones.
I mean, I'm gonna walk into it. We're gonna give it a try, but we don't have a second disc right now, so.
There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, two tones are required, dots and dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, Council. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code? My learned Nipponiese friend, thank you very much. Yes, yes.
Open it up. This is the same conversation. Okay.
Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well.
I'm gonna mash through. Come on. I don't know why it doesn't let me skip it. Two movements are linked. They're linked. Okay.
Got it!
Present.
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the other side of the music box? What? It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put two discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message. This is beyond a joke. I'm sorry. This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims. Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with a second disc, that would be another matter. Well, I can't at the moment. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilded 2 months ago, striking a deal over the disc or discs.
Indeed. That was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly. I had nothing to do whatsoever with it. Sorry, I had nothing whatsoever to do with it. Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue. The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. Oh dear, looks like you need to give your argument more strength, you know. You will reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Some low-class brickmaker negotiated with McGilded anyway. Pressing on this.
So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilded killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information? How indeed? There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason, in order to take it to the meeting with McGilded and negotiate a deal. Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that. An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. We have nothing more to add on that note. Let us return to the witness testimony. Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night, like what he told us to do.
Hold it!
Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean? That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the rotter had a dodgy job for us. Yeah, Ash?
They knew each other. Oh, they're friends.
Let me stop you there, Mrs. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? What those people kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's in old China.
Excuse me.
You look so pleased with yourself. Does this go more than that?
Something wrong, Mr. Skulkin? Huh? No, the other Mr. Skulkin. Why, who, me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. I used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together with Mr. Graydon, you mean? Yeah, with us. I mean, you look at him now, he's his fancy whistle and flute, you wouldn't Adam and Eve it. But when he was younger, he's from the poor part of town, just like us. Is that so? but he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Was always coming up with smart ideas like what we'd never gone through our heads. Core blind me, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton Skulkin's milk run? I was a corker, eh? Save it until after the trial. Reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit. Aye, Geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering. You ain't done nothing wrong. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? I don't know. Could that sentiment of the story be relevant somehow? Fuck it, add it to the testimony. My lord. Yes, counsel? The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case. Very well, counsel. I'll permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add. Say no more, Skulkin's never skulkin'. Milverton Skulkin's milk run. Corb, them were the days.
Hold it!
I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. Bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals, is that what it was all about? That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? The name? So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved? Yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it? Yeah, that's it. And where did Milverton part come from? Alright, I thought clever cloaks like you'd have worked that one out. That is. Enough of this! How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel?
Objection.
I don't. Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying. Tell me, why is it that was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject? Because well... It weren't the happiest of that one came from. Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him. Just took the name Graydon then, see? That should always be Milverton to us. Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not! This is all bunkum! I've been a Graydon since I was born! Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves, huh? You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Well, it appears that Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then? Is that correct? Very well, yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things, and could turn out to be extremely important. Ashley Graydon. Last one was once Milverton. Okay. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago and the break-in at Winterbanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Miss McGill did.
No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered.
Oh my god, was Mr. Mason his father? If only there was a link between the two men somehow.
I know. Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. One of the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers.
Hang on. Did he get his father set up to be murdered? Oh my god, that was his father! Holy shit. that on purpose? Oh my god, I don't know what's worse, if it was on purpose or if it was accidental. Like, if it was on purpose that he sent him up to be murdered by Mr. McGilded, then, I mean, that's just a good old patricide. But if it was on accident, then imagine the guilt. It must have been on purpose. It must have been on purpose based on that story of his mother leaving. Oh my god. Well, we're presenting that.
Objection.
Mr. Ashley Milverton, tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name.
Explain yourself, please, counsel.
I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. As we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with Miss McGilded, yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. That's right, only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. Milverton? Do you mean to say, saints alive? Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you joined the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records. The truth is, you've been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it on to Miss McGilded in collaboration with your father. And that was how they got out of debt. That's how he got so fancy and rich in the first place. My God. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. By dint of this music box, you mean, counsel? Yes. Stealing information being sent in secret government communications and selling it on to McGilded? Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information. As, presumably, a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with Mr. McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Winnipegs 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other you never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box? We never knew nothing about that. On the night Mr. Winnipeg was killed. The intruder to the pawnbrokery touched one item, and one item alone. The music box. I was rather ingeniously demonstrated using the 2 prints from the security camera, indeed. So, the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense. Sir? There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. What? 2 nights ago, We know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windibank's pawnbrokery. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholm's waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm that you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it? It's got you now, me old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those are my terms, remember? I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windibanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. Now, as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But I didn't shoot the man, right? But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded. Stop moving, men. You're gonna make yourself bleed more. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. He's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is... well, we know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholm's waist. And the bullet from Mr. Windibank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm. Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself. And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windibank was shot by a 3rd gun. Which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder. Goodness. That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could possibly have shot Mr. Windibank that night is you.
Hold it.
Oh? Still got some fight left in you.
Oh, that is so good. My fiance made bacon to go with the burgers when he made them. And I didn't have the bacon the night of because I had indigestion from food I ate at work. There was a bunch of free sweets that they got catered, and it's like, oops, haha, my stomach hurts. But now that I'm actually having it with a burger, it's like, oh man, bacon tastes so good. I always forget how good bacon tastes until I have it again. All right, back with you.
You little upstart! You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communications station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see, this makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at that poor, defenseless pawnbroker and shot him. You... what? Order? Order! Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. Mr. Graydon. Jojo posing. He is Jojo posing. I can't help but think of it every time I see it. Ugh. Yes? I trust you're fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
The moment of the shooting.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still in the entrance to the shop. When Windbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door there. The accused, in a black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
No, she didn't toss the gun, you stupid idiot. Okay. Alright. Oh, I guess he couldn't have known. He couldn't have known the state that the scene was in when he left, because at that point they were probably already leaving. So, like, it's a reasonable lie. But it's a bad lie. Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. He really thinks he's slick with it. He does! Look at that fucking smirk on his face! Look at him! He thinks he's won! You claim, sir, under oath to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Order! It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. The truth? Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point? Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here. Vestiges? Vestige? I think it's vestige, actually. Oops. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. What? Only very recently a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry. There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemicals the regent used. With your lordship's permission, we could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Bruno.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the coat, all over the front of Ginny's coat. If they test it with their chemicals...
Oh, help! You're right! I was forgetting what happened yesterday.
Don't move, Ginny! I'm gonna shoot!
Just imagine a 10-year-old child telling you she's gonna shoot. Oh, the most ominous thing in the world. But that's not Mr. Winnebank's blood. That stain is from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution. Overruled. Lord Van Zieks, make it so at once. With pleasure, my lord.
And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Once they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be... Counsel? Yes, my lord.
Your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. If this cross-examination doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial.
A moment of the shooting. We're gonna press everything as we normally do. But I know where to go.
Hold it!
Mr. Winnebank emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close. Never been so scared in all my life. Yeah, we're just your regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carry a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place, then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me little bruv, but the old geezer chucked me over the bloomin' counter. So I pulled my gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper. Pair of you sitting upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together, shame on you! Sorry, Gov. When Winbeck threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went on to strike the calendar in the wall behind you. So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Winnebank intend to shoot you, do you think? Well, no. I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home. I pulled my gun on him, he tried to shove me out the way, and then he scraped through the door out back. At which point, what did you do? Pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though.
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. And what about this peephole in the door you mentioned? Well, unsurprisingly, the storm door is a solid job made out of stout wood. But there's a small opening in it about head height that lets you see what's in there from the outside. Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. And what about you burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well? Not likely, Gov. Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov. I doubt these 2 buffoons were even aware of the people's existence. So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winnebank take place. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there. The defendant? Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man. And then, what did you see next? The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Winnebank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. Ah, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from Winnebank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time. But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, counsel. Sorry. You must consider the events in order. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then all of a sudden, the The broker turned to run, and it was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back.
A chilling image, I must say.
I see. So now this statement does technically make sense with this testimony because he's saying she threw away the gun that was the actual murder weapon and he took it. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl.
Hold it!
All over her? Yes, through the peephole I saw it clearly. Of course the stains are invisible now, what with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood. Well, it is sullied with blood, that's for sure.
But it's not Mr. Windibank's blood, is it?
No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when Mr. McGilda stabbed him 2 months ago.
It's so annoying. If it's only accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that.
But they won't. So unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
Mother.
Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where, exactly? In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun to the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door. But why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there, in case any more tragedies took place. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime. Yes, it was yours truly. I left to clear up to my lackeys and left. Clear up? We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistleflute told us to tidy up. Things use a booming mum sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, by God! Ugh. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with a second disc in your jacket pocket? You're like a bullet at gate, aren't you? What? Whoa, what's happening?
Excuse me.
Why are you strangling him? Gentlemen! You're a detective! You can't just assault someone on the stand! What's wrong with you, Gregson? I almost called him Grayson. Oh, God. Hang on, I'm gonna have more burger. I put myself on like, not push to mute, yeah, push to mute. For my mute button, I really should just have like a proper mute button. It's not worth having to hold it down the whole time and only having one hand available. If I drop something, it's all over. That's almost what just happened. I didn't drop it, but it was very close. Okay. Something wrong, Sunshine? That should be my line. You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin. Well, I mean, he's a bit of an ogre, ain't he? What was going on just now? You saw him and grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the third gun when you got you down to the station? And why didn't you? Because we didn't know nothing about it. Not flaming people on the door. Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you? God blind me, see the way he's looking at me? I'm telling you, this dude giving me the willies. That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yeah, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris.
Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character.
My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord. Ah, the blood on the accused's overcoat. Thank you, officer. Very well. Cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. Oh, there you have it. The reports, please, Inspector. Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of spattering following a gunshot wound. End of report. Goodness me! Ooh, nice spin. See? What did I tell you? No, the blood on that coat is not Mr. Windibank's. What on earth makes you say that, counsel? The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windibank's, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Objection!
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nepalese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago, in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for Miss McGilded's innocence? And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer. Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. But that was... I call it a bally disgrace. Treachery is what it is. I'll determine whether the blood on that coat is 2 months old or not. Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem pop out. It can't be done. But, we use Mr. Sholmes' specially formulated chemicals. Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist. Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer? I held up Roski to starving boy and he ran away crying. Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. How could you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth, from start to finish. How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir? As the witness said, the accused's coat was spattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth. Ah! My lord? Oh. Been a long battle this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please. Mr. Foreman. As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now? Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
My god, they're really putting in a third summation examination.
Guilty.
Okay, we're going for it. Oh, it appears the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful. I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how is it all unraveling on me so fast? How very distressing. Hello? To be held in such low esteem. Hello, Sholmes. to be held in such low esteem. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Officer? You've delivered the report now. That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah! Mr. Sholmes! What is the meaning of this?
Look at him posing with his one knee popped. What sort of fucking fruit are you, Mr. Sholmes? I'm sorry. It's just another order in the court thing. You never notice it because you never get to see his full stance from when you're just looking at him normally. But oh my god, seeing that from behind with like the little popped knee, the finger point. This man's is gay. Good for him. Okay. Sorry about that. That was just incredibly amusing to me.
Okay. What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in the hospital. As well I would be, had I not been set upon an errand. What errand?
Harley, it's really you. You're awake at last.
Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humor me. In what manner, sir? I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time? What say you to this, Lord Van Zeeks? This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already. Exactly, having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time. As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes. Very well then. Counsel, you have 5 minutes.
Ah, he took out their disguise now, okay.
My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. Sorry. I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, men. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out. Let's make this discussion as short as possible then.
Harley, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah, well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community, and oversight on my part. Right? Modesty? Surely not. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. What's that? A lavender furoshiki wrapping? A leaving present from Mrs. Sato. From Mrs. Sato. If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor. I don't understand. Mrs. Sato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand, and that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you all were wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions. A leaving present from Susato-san. Whatever could it be? What is this?
Oh, it's the machine I made. Timed it perfectly. Wagahai. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
What is that?
I call it the cat flapper-mat. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. What's Susie up to?
Mrs. Sato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't she say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? That night, when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of the thieves, Mrs. Sato made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. Oh my god! The peephole wasn't always there! Susato made it! He couldn't have known what was inside. Nobody could have known what was inside. Oh my god! Susato, why did you bring that with you? Okay, alright. That is your answer, dear fellow. Not at all cryptic then. Susato-san used his cat Flappermat that night, but why? Oh my god. You know, it never seemed strange to me that there would be a thing in the door, because like, if he's in his back room and he hears something, then you know he needs to go over and look, right? That just makes sense to me. No, he was never there in the first place. Oh my god. Your 5 minutes is over. Oh, we're out of time already? I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder... Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me? I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests...
Further cross-examination.
Further cross-examination. The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with one of an existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord! Pressing your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. Was that on purpose, Sholmes? Oh, that's so smart. Okay. I will respect the hustle. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord.
So nobody can say anything then. If we're not asked to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon...
The court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd. I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of those proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your arguments against it. A single chance to present evidence? If, following that, the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further. My lord. Yes, my lord. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. Mr. Sholmes! To stand so insistently before the court in a state of such high fever, either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling. I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you? Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared? Yes. One statement. One piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down, or Iris.
The cheek slappy.
I won't waste this final chance that Susato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well then. Under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
This music, though? Oh my god. Is this new? I don't remember this playing in the other trials. Oh, this is really good. I hope you guys can hear it.
I'm just gonna turn my game audio up real quick. Just a little bit so you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let this play a little. Hang on, I'm gonna have some of my burger and let it play. Okay. I think it's looped at this point because I recognize this, like, what is the instrument? It's the stretchy thing. The stretchy thing that you see animated a bunch but never played in real life. No.
I think I recognize that bit of the music, so I think it's looped at this point. But holy shit, this is good.
Sharp in your arm, pursue the man, but he himself in the storeroom. See him through the peephole in the door, though. He was in a black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I think this is our statement that we need. There should not have been a peephole. I'm gonna save, because I don't want to redo this whole part 4. I think this is it, though. No, I will examine it just to be safe.
Oh, those vicious teeth look like they could rip through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They're made of a special alloy I developed just for this job. The car rotates 10 times per second so it can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
And what are the two parts at the top there?
Ah, those are for the attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
Sounds so charming and friendly when you say what it's for, but it feels like the reality of the cat flapping mat is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
Why a guy's so adorable, there's nothing I wouldn't do for him, even developing deadly weapons.
Very witch from Mercury, this. Oh, Lord.
Alright, yeah, like, do I have anything? Obviously, we have to use that. Like, there's no photo of the crime scene door itself at this point. Yeah, I have to use the cat flapper mat. Alright, here we go. We present.
Objection!
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council?
Oh, it's my cat flapping mat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of a room. It can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please without their owners having to open the main door. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. Ah! But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case. Oh, really? Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I failed to see what this has to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all. I beg your pardon, a peephole, you say? 2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winmick had taken place. That's right, according to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes. Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Would this have been in the photos the whole fucking time? Hang on. Oh my fucking god! It's even in the photos. If I'd paid attention to that door in the beginning, I probably would have remembered that. That's so fucking sneaky! Oh my god. There it is! There it not is! Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't see that at all. Okay.
Your assistant did what? There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I witness the crime for pity's sake? Yes. How could you? What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean. Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. No!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device. Our assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions? That is the most serious act of vandalism. For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Riddled with? Explain yourself, counsel. The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there is no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Order? Order! Is there any credence in this revelation?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my little friend must surely realize. Exactly. It's just some cheap trick designed to discredit me. I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can cut through a solid wooden door?
Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second.
Haha, I had a feeling you'd say that.
What?
Maggie, Chloe, time for dinner. There he is. Meow. Well?
Huh? Young lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make a cat flap in the paneling of the Old Bailey. I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom door at the window banks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was.
No, but it's easy.
What?
The cat flaps my cat flap map crates are all of a fixed size, and the dimensions of the peephole at window banks are an exact match. Old Silky's lost for words.
Excellent work, Iris. Thank you. And now it's my learned student's friend turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Well, yes, that's true. And you may have some difficulty in establishing all the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the people cut? Prosecution demands proof of your answer. What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Van Zieks? It is very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the people was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the people was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. What? No, it's okay. We got this. We have the photos. Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zieks. Well, counsel,
Don't give up now, Bruno. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Susada-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Very well, the counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Proof that the people in the door window bank storeroom was created after the event and not before. Where is it? There it is. Yep.
Take that!
Ba-bam!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again. My judicial assistant, Mrs. Saru Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered the scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel. This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defense's broker. But, more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see that print again. Oh, I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description. Mr. Graydon! You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies. Order? Order! I am satisfied the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious. That's not the only thing we now know beyond all reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. But more importantly... Good lord, there's more, Lord Van Zieks. The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer. Yes, that's right. What? I was there at the scene, it's true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here. Oh, please. No! I don't believe this, but they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he is the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris?
You know what they say. There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, Bruno? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark? What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency in your statements. What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about, namely...
The bloodstains on the coat. He shouldn't have known that was covered in blood because that was from the original incident.
The bloodstains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat. That's right, the victim's blood splattered all over her when she shot him. But how could you possibly have known that? Obviously because I saw her do it through the peephole in... The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing. You're not making any sense. Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door? Well, obviously Has the cat got your tongue, witness? The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windibanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pawned articles, and my lads have to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave the order to have officers working around the clock and shifts so we can get through it all. And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door. How on earth is that possible? Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zieks? Speak, Inspector. It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you, permission denied. Oh, it's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes. Of course, sir. Mr. Graydon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else. Ugh.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications. Yes, but the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that could be. Who is the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony? You are not slick, Gregson. Get the fuck out of here. Or in here in this case, in this testimony. Truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson. Me?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend. Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today. Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess, while the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communication station. And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea, no inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court. Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned? Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position, that he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that while this trial was in progress that he received the information so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin. Oh, well, you really gotta go file those reports, nothing sus about it, yep. That excuse ain't working on us, though. We saw through him. Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson. This is a blooming outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigation to this fella, eh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that? Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery. Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
Oh, I've just remembered something right now.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh yes, now that you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve Miss McGill's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it. It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then. You little toe rag, you're making all this up! I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke? Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain, but perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense. What deal, counsel? I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
Well,
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty. I don't do that. But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim. Evidence? Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal. If Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it.
Who knows? Do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness? Ooh. I mean... It has to be the music box that we present here, right? Because we need the second disc.
Take that!
Inspector Gregson, besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case? What? What are you getting at now, Sunshine? Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice? How the blue Nora could you? We discovered during the course of this trial that the music box deposit at Window makes by Madness McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It seemed very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilda's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case. You little... Order! On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windibanks, you said this. I'll be taking that whatever it is Miss McGill is down to the yard, thank you very much. Send it over. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine! I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded is to be taken in as evidence now. Scotland Yard already knew at that time, isn't that right? That Mass McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets. My orders were cover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information. Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't that sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony? There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the peephole. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men. No! It kind of looked like he hit him either in the face or in the fish and chips, and that caused them to go flying with that animation overlap. If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom. Wait, what? In this room? How could you possibly make a claim like that? Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective. What? What's that supposed to mean, eh? As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand. Good gracious, then you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his person.
Yes!
The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely! They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before, and Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since!
My lord, please! Order an examination of his personal effects immediately!
Well, Inspector.
This young man wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if it'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, I'll happily submit to a body search. What? He's going to agree to it? I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you're now teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service This trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded. That sounds serious.
Indeed, to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about a country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Runo because you're scared.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences. It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. And this must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it, but somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
If he is so willing to submit to the search, that means he can't have it.
I'm gonna say search someone else, but I'm not quite sure who.
Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted. Well, don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponi stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good. Fair enough. I've got nothing to hide. Very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search on the inspector's personal effects, please. The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson. What? Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? Thought you wanted to search me. No, Inspector. Not you. Somebody else. What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost it at last, have you, Sunshine? Of course you're not put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you. Oh, Iris.
Bruno's doing what you all told him to do, and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Oh, you're not about to make that point, are you, Iris?
Well said, young lady.
Indeed, this court is in all the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next words.
You what? No, don't be hasty, my lord. If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has that disc at the moment. There's only one person it can be. Counsel, whom do you request a search now? I mean... Graydon. Unless Gina did some sort of mad move where she pickpocketed him and stole the disc, it's gotta be Graydon.
Take that!
Mr. Ashley Graydon, my lord. The defense demands that he be searched at once. Very well. I presume you will not protest, Mr. Graydon. Au contraire.
A brief body search was carried out by the court bailiff. A few short minutes later, it was revealed that Mr. Graydon had nothing unusual on his person at all. No! I chose wrong! Oof. Well, counsel, if I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure I know who has a disc on them. There's only one person who can be. Who? If it's not Gregson, and it's not him, these two know nothing. Strongheart has nothing to do with this. Gregson never let this stand. Oh my fucking god. Did Sholmes steal it? I was thinking Gina might have stole it. Did Sholmes steal it? Oh no.
Take that!
My lord, the defense demands this person be searched at once. Good grief, what possible relation could exist between that person and the case counsel?
Objection!
It would seem my Nipponi's friend does not understand the gravity of requesting such a search. Okay, so I had the wrong idea. Alright. Defense counsel's aim is humiliation. Perhaps we'll give him a taste of his own medicine. Alright, it's a good thing we saved all these for the end.
actually doesn't have a disc at the moment. The question is, where could he have hidden it?
Trouble is, he's been in the witness stand the entire time, in full view of everyone in the courtroom. Not an easy situation in which to go about hiding anything, really. So there's honestly only one place he could possibly have hidden it then.
Perhaps another person's pocket? Someone with him on the stand.
Oh! Is it when he grabbed Nash? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. That never would have crossed my mind. Alright, that's tricky. Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin. Well, I never. Hey? Why me? Me? Him? Oh, goodness.
Juma, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to stream. I don't know how long you've been here, but thank you for the follow.
Very well then, bailiff. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Hold it!
Please, my lord. Inspector? Hello, Gemma! Scotland Yard has to object to this search.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. Eh? In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object. Wait, Bullard Van Zeeks. I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial. Your Honor, I object. This is devastating to my case. Yep. Basically, Healbot, except for once, it's not us. It's not us having to make that objection. Ugh. Bailiff, carry out the search. No, hold on a mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Cut it out! Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found this. Good lord, that's another music box disc. I don't know nothing about it, nothing. That is a second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson? Order! Mr. Skulkin, what do you have to say to yourself? Gordon Bennett, just Gordon Flamin' Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God. Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal was struck between this witness and this detective, no? Without question, my lord. Then, for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information? Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment. I don't recall. What unusual behavior? It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? I admit to nothing of the sort. While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently. Yeah, he did and all. He thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing I had been born as my brother I was. And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that? I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned to grab me and whistle like that and started shaking me. Why the blazes didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down to the station? That's what he said. He only right down my ear, all he did. And my head's still throbbing now. The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character, but looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc. Bless my wig! He hid it! You... but I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. The detective had acquired the disc he was after. Why not we then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence. It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that. Why ever not? As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions. My orders were: cover the medium used to convey secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. Hush-hush, a top-secret assignment, is it? As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector? I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question. So, realizing there was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc that you acquired from the witness. Does this mean? He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him to slip the second disc into his pocket. So it was all a pretense.
Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Braden. Are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal? Let me guess, no.
Admit to it, yours truly, please. Mr. Graydon. Clearly our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole? I am under no obligation to explain. What? Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder? Leaking government secrets? Striking a deal with the detective? All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about.
I'm very sorry, by the way, Juma, that you happened to stop by in the middle of the climax of the final case of the first game. I hope you played this game before, otherwise I'm very sorry, you're probably horrendously lost.
Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc? Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I'm acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice. So as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decisions.
You've been in an Ace Attorney bin for almost half a year now, watching it in stream as it is. Okay, well, if you need some sort of recap when this is all done, I can give it to you.
That is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings. Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector.
Yes, he's a dependable man, and I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character.
Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really. Graydon is highly skilled operator, stop. Currently in presence of idol, stop.
Oh no.
Detective has very much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot say. I don't believe it. These 6 jurors they're going to believe Gregson. If they declare the decision now.
Is Julie going to be found guilty?
If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Winnebank or stole his government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. Well then, counsel, I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court. If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Jean will be found guilty.
So no choice then, Bruno. You have to throw some more evidence at them.
This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Ooh. Isn't it a conflict of interest putting a Graydon Stan as a juror? Well, we didn't know that right up until he was called in here. Like, it just so happens that she works at the same office as him and she idolizes him. We had no way of knowing.
Oh my god.
To pop it 2 prints in here to start with, you see? And then when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions.
The important thing to get right is specifically the 2 prints.
I don't know who came up with the idea of a stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating.
Can we hit the button?
Oh, look at that. It's totally changed shape just from one little button press.
Well, that is the button. That is what the button's for, Bruno. You're just like Harley. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Especially if you don't know what they do.
Us boys, says the 10-year-old girl.
Anyway, now you can see that really is a stereoscope, can't you?
Like, is there anything? I don't remember inspecting this earlier. Is there anything? Someone help?
Have to pop your 2 prints in here, blah 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 blah.
Okay, yep. I don't know why they gave us this earlier.
Oh, God.
No signs of trauma. Anything in the case notes here? No. This is Mr. Mason's blood. That's the overcoat ticket. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Nothing to do. This story has not come up yet.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
That's right, I used Daddy's notes to write it. I think it's a great story. I don't know why Hurley's forbidden me to publish it.
No, it's strange, isn't it? Perhaps it's a problem with the title? Perhaps Mr. Sholmes is a family friend of someone who has that name or something?
Well, it doesn't have quite the same ring to it, but I could change it to The Hound of the Naruhodos.
I'm fairly sure that Mr. Sholmes is a friend of someone who has that name, too.
Oh god, what do I even do here? Green, no. Handwritten notes. One small box. It's the same thing there. What do I even present and to who? We pop this out again. What I would love is to just play the fucking thing and freak them both out. Former gilded. Something to prove he made the deal. Or to prove that he was the one who killed him. I don't have anything for that. But if I let them rule, then... And we don't have ballistic markings. Yep. Is there anything in these photos I should be looking at? No. Single round, map of the pawnbrokery. God, fuck! Time of death, reporting party. A gently rising diagonal trajectory. But if he was running, it would be in there. God, I don't know what to present and to who. I'm gonna save because at this point I might actually get a game over. Who did present evidence against Gregson or Graydon? He's under confidential orders. I can't... How can I get him? Because we've basically all but proven it. We have the second disc, but it wasn't put in the court record. This is the first one.
Oh my god, that's the man you defended in court a couple months ago, isn't it, Runo?
Yes, or rather mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself.
Yeah, that's still the same dialogue. I already looked at the blood stain. God, is there like a log or something I can read? History. All of my inspections, blah blah blah. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank or stole those government secrets, or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. I don't have anything for this! Oh no, alright. Okay, we're just gonna blunder our way through it until we die, I guess. God. I think the only thing I can do is Graydon.
Mr. Graydon, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see. You misguided fool. Whatever you intend to show me now, you'll be wasting your time. I have nothing left to lose. I assure you, I will admit to nothing. This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get him to admit to the deal he clearly struck on the stand.
I don't have anything! I was thinking of the small music box. If I can just play both! Let me play both discs! Let me prove it's Morse code!
Take that!
Is that Miss McGill? Wait, did I do it right? Is that Miss McGill's peculiar music box, Counsel? Yes, with a disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc that we've just discovered set in place as well. Holy shit! I got it! I did not think that was going to work. I had genuinely no clue. I'm sorry for wasting all your time there, guys. Oh. The classic Ace Attorney, I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore. Goodness, this disc, Counsel.
Hold it!
No, well, wait, I can't let you do that. Why not? Because it's got nothing to do with this case, that's why.
Objection.
Not true, Inspector. Huh? The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains a second tone needed to complete the message, and now we have a chance to confirm that theory. For crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. You go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason. Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness? You're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leave confidential case details to the witness, that you continue to lie to the court, and all because by fair means or foul you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine. Don't you dare. I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of.
Not a Chad moment.
Yep, he's pulling out all the stops here. We love to see it. My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made by that music box. Come on, Van Steech, for Pete's sake, stop him!
Objection!
Leggy! Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth by fair means or foul. No!
Very well. The defense stands here, and that the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more.
This time,
With the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously.
oh, listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code. All right, I admit it, whatever you want, but by the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up!
I can't believe I got that. Oh god. I really thought I was gonna just perish there.
Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of people in the pawnbroker storeroom door, Inspector?
I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. The trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood here on the stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
Yeah, the thing that took away my health earlier was I don't remember if you were there to see it, but I got stuck on who the fuck was the one who had the disc.
Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. Couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. Peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat. By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. I did. Then it turned out the people had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windebank. You. Traitor! Oh god! Oh god! Help this man! He's gonna die! Is he okay? Something broke there. Oh, did he cough up a potato? Bailiff, restrain that man! At once! He coughed up a potato. Somebody help him! That's it then. It's all over. Bailiff, shoot that man. I mean, honestly, you might as well let him die. Not Gregson. He doesn't deserve to be murdered for trying to do his job, technically. I mean, like, all cops are bastards. But, like, he believed it was for the good of the country and all that. But Graydon, we can let him die. Bang, bang. I despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole.
And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination.
But then you decided to try to sell government secrets? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded. You're a fiend with a queer talent, so you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with my little plan now. I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGiddle will buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for the inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you are committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code, so I sought out my father again, to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father, and I need music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft. That's how I had to make the 2 discs. Thereby splitting the information in 2. You were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in 2 separate transactions. The first involved the first of the 2 discs and the music box for playing them. I shamed him at McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal the exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already, but it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. That doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon, for why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded and not yourself? When I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed deals with Mr. McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. My father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, I'll let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore." That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs I had asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. He didn't want his father dead at all. Oh, no. It was only then that I found out what sort of monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge. Revenge? Was he the one who set the fire? As I know, even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then. I walked in that hornet's nest, completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I had made plenty of money out of my dealings with Mr. McGilded by then, so I spared nothing. In my arrangements 2 months ago, I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think of the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day was caused by this man.
Man's really said, I've killed a man once. I'll do it again.
Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. What's this, officer? It's sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection. I'm going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. So I asked if I could be present for it myself. So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again. That's right. An imposter hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. And I, for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. Medicine was a little too spicy. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end. Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago, clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of 2 discs in the music box. You need to play them. Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Windibanks Pawnbrokery? Ah, it is a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I'll put a jewel in pawn for you. I'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. I've never heard of a pawnbroker being used in quite that way before. I mean, not, Mr. Graydon. One's pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault.
so he knew where to go to find her.
So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Windibank's that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket assessment, it was clearly peculiar. Anyone can see that. I realized immediately that she was another McGilda's pawns, like he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. And he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Windibank's to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilda's overcoat and that one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing, because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion. Meanwhile, as our investigation into stolen government secrets was progressing, we'd picked up on the fact that McGilda was involved. Inspector, you've recovered fast. Orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I had become nervous. I was sure the music box and disc were still there in the shop somewhere, so I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find these articles before the police did. So that was what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I located the music box I'd sold to McGilda on the shelves of the forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes. I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
Oh gosh, what is his voice again?
What are you doing in my shop? Bang! A gunshot rang out from the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case.
I'm taking my candles with me.
If I knew what was happening, I'd fire back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge. A sorry, sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I didn't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windibank's on that wretched night.
Oh, she knows that I have a burger with bacon on it. She really wants it. I can hear her sniffing. Speaking of, well, they're doing the dots. Okay.
Earlier, you called Miss McGilda a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony, for what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes. I think I have.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with murder at Mr. Winterbank and stealing the government secrets.
Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself.
Yes, my lord, of course. It transpires that you are complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you are doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Yeah?
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, sir. Curtis Gordon standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Hurdle, you finally managed to do it!
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
Cece was right! You're the best lawyer in the world! Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? In relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond Mr. McGilder's property, it seems.
I've never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilder's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Oh, just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening. And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music boxes contained a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, Counsel.
Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Very sorry about that. It was the only way that I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done, so... If I may say something on that point... Isn't that? It's, about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact. Oh, goodness, madam. An unholy level of obsession, one feels. But I must say that in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of two different tones. What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? But, my lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, sunshine? This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of government communications. We know McGilder conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. But it's really going to bother me. Miss Lestrade. Yeah, my lord. That what you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child. Come on, ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums. I beg your pardon? If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. Gina. But look, I could have worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. And you've got to change who you are yourself. Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. I don't want her to be the defendant in another case. Not in the second game. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Winterbank, the proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Guilty! Woo! We lived! We made it!
When did she upgrade that to shoot fireworks? Iris, that's dangerous!
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Hello, Lamp! We finally made it through the final trial! It took a whole 3 hours! Yep. I really didn't expect it to go that much longer. I thought we were almost done. Like, maybe another hour? 2 at most? Surprise! It's 3.
On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh? Despite being Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within the Englishman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again.
Fellas, is it gay to stay in the completely empty courtroom just to talk to the prosecutor who keeps on insulting you, but also keeps complimenting you? Like, how do you read that? Ooh, is he interested? I just don't know. 17th of April, 5:24 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Ah, congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent. Tags enemies to lovers. There we go, Gmail. Yup. The defense attorney-prosecutor relationship in a nutshell. Oh, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me. Right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Properly. That's awful. Figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one, but that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. Yeah, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have to thank you for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, pack it in! I suppose, sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be?
Pardon the interruption?
Oh, Jesus Christ. But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? That voice. It's too late for that voice. Now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been sitting here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Ah ha ha! Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when finally you noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling! Mr. Sholmes! Ha ha ha! Yes, it was me all along! You see? He's so fucking stupid! Jesus Christ. I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Yeah, I noticed the model was looking as Mr. Sherlock Holmes moved across the screen. He turned around. Yup. Oh, I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. Oh, very above board. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts, justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat at you. Oh, thank you? Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Mr. Strahd? Have you been having a snooze in your nice soft bed? Some of us have been fighting for our lives. Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes? What the fuck? Yeah, my hands are cold. Let me just grab your neck. Okay, alright, Sholmes. You're fucking fruit. And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Mrs. Strahd. What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in the trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh, Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in the trial he was working on winds up dead anyway. Is that it? The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Miss McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean like God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. And when I've got the wrong end of the stick, there are some coves like that bog trotter would have rotten to the core. At the end of the day, I'm in upstairs to make sure they get what they deserve. I suppose it's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like the McGills of this world, so I ain't scared. I got Principal C. A trait in you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oi, just give a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Oh, oh, there she is.
There you are, Hurley! How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there.
Oh, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But those didn't notice my presence at all. Ah, ha, ha! They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
I'll be careful.
Ouch.
I've got principles, you see. Be polite, be efficient, have a plan to pickpocket everyone you meet.
Not everyone, just them rich blokes. Anyway, it's a shame. I was so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look like I'm gonna be going nowhere for a while. You're the judge's powder. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offenses. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bulk for stuff what was in lug, blah blah blah. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense. But diving ain't an offense, it's a job, isn't it? I don't think so. Still, it's got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Oda? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. Gonna do something for all them lot like me from the sun. Something that makes a difference for them.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny, and I'm sure you can do it. What is it?
Nothing.
Mr. Lestrade, my prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once.
Right, well, looks like I'm off then. Yes, goodbye, Gina, and good luck. Odo? Yes? Ah! What was that for? I don't know, I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase of the two missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. On occasions such as this, I recommend a simple thank you. Oh.
Ah, yes! It's a good advice. It's good advice, Ginny.
Right, I see. Well... Thanks. Oh no.
Oh, she did it! The Ace Attorney woman smile at the end of the case.
Thank you for everything what you've done, for believing in me. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina.
She's so cute. I want to pat her head and make sure she's safe and sound.
Oh, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, well, quite the indomitable pick purse.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition and this trial's all over the front page. Pickpocket pickpocket's innocence proven! Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly of me. Oh, but anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
Well, what do you say, Bruno? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news?
A huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more.
Wait. Dover?
That's right! If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off!
But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Sholmes? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked soap. I don't... The great detective does it again. Indeed, he does! I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary! Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria! Oh, I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I'm ready for... Oh no! It's gonna be all dramatic. 18th of April, 5:32 a.m., Port of Dover, quayside.
That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Mrs. Otto, where are you?
There she is!
Over there, look! It looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Mrs. Otto, wait! What are you doing? Mr. Naruhodo? What are you doing here? We came as soon as we could we came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
Oh, Ace Attorney Woman Smile Part 2.
That's wonderful.
Really wonderful news.
The book you're about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it?
Oh, dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell.
You're saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san? Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the people, Mrs. Soto?
I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that was so much fun! I stole Runa's armband!
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages. On a whim, I thought it'd be fun to see if I could take the cat flap mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Really? And then I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Winbank's shop with it later that night.
I see.
And then... Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. Right.
After Mr. Naruhodo left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
A storeroom door, you mean?
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had at my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you used the cat flap mat to make the peephole in the door.
As captured in photographic print at the shop. By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was of the first importance, that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Miss Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing.
When I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remember that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Madness McGilded.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windibank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
You're worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
For which, a peephole would be the very thing.
Only the people I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? Is that why she did it?
So you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know, and I knew at the time that what I was doing was wrong, a criminal offense even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner, with no other possible methods of escape. The truth about the people could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything.
It's either a small machine or Susato has a pocket dimension within those sleeves. I'm pretty sure it's actually a small machine. Because when we looked at the cutscene of Ryunosuke looking through the peephole, it was basically about the size of his head. So if you imagine like it's just like a square that is the height of the average human head, that isn't very wide. It's basically just big enough for a cat to get through. Especially because they can squeeze into things if they're too large. So I'm pretty sure it's not a very large machine in the first place.
But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Mrs. Soto decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Mrs. Soto.
The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that, is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Mrs. Soto, what you did saved Gina's life.
your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo. You saved me too, from my regrets.
Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrange's freedom has been assured. Yes, exactly. While some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation that the music box discs contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo? What a triumph to work that out! I'm full of admiration!
Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
No, it wasn't.
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they're written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. So then we could never hope to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. Oh no. Don't tell me you know ciphers. A. So. Gi?
What?
What?
Oh, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny!
Wait! Iris, what did you just say?
Oh, I just said Asugi? Does that word mean something to you?
Means something. Asugi was the name of my best friend.
What?
But how? How do you know that name, Iris?
I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in the plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying?
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before, but I think it's based on the Iroha pentagram, right? Or pentagram, right?
And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code the message says Asugi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code.
Iris, would you let me see that?
Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications.
Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version.
Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course.
What can this possibly mean?
Whatever's in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
The British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names?
The first is Kei Asugi.
Kazuma Asugi. Why? Why was his name on that disc?
The second is A. Shin.
Shin? I don't recognize that name.
The third is T. Gregson.
Gregson? I would seem Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the list. And what's his name doing in a secret government communications as well?
And the last name.
What's the matter, Mrs. Sato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense. The last name is J. Wilson. What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message. Or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris. believe it. Who would ever have thought that this contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then, where Susie and Bruno come from. Oh, well. Oh, no, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. We can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Winneming's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. Are we really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Mrs. Sato.
Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Mrs. Sato! I hope to have you always at my side, to guide me and support me. Mrs. Naruhodo? Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
I'm quite sure. I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh no, don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've got to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript.
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. Mrs. Naruhodo,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Maria when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cab with this auto takedown.
You know very well I'm talking about after that! It's strange, we're being thrown together to war in that case, I somehow felt straight away. You're the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy.
Mrs. Sato?
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then. I'm gonna make myself finish my burger.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey. Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
You guys are so fucking lucky I was eating during that, because every time Wakahai was on screen, I wanted to scream and be like, cat, 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 Wakahai, Wakahai, look at him, he's so cute. That's why I was circling him with my mouse. Oh.
That's not it. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently. Huh?
It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we'd never made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything, and how it was all your fault. Huh? Huh? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Mrs. Soto...
You love defending yourself in court.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who would do something so outrageous. See?
Mr. Sholmes. Yes? A word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly, any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow.
Oh yes, I love Runo's words, and I know just the one he'll use here.
Then I really must say...
Objection!
Okay, we hit credits. That took so much longer than I thought it was going to. We lived. We did it, though. We made it. In the following weeks, hundreds of meat boxes arrived. Oh god. Hundreds of meat boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it transpired I'd ordered them all myself, so advertising for sale with... Use Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case, and the money I've earned to consult detective work is a pittance in comparison. There we go. I didn't realize there'd be things to read. Oh fuck, so I had to like use the stream to catch up. Help.
I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfasts.
Alright, who's next? You? Witness, your testimony is riddled with contradictions! Oh.
Wait, no, is this just repeating what they've done?
Oh no, they're testifying at the trial for the son! Witnesses, my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments!
Jesus Christ. They're actually trying the son.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I lay low in the steamship for a while. But last night, I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give Wagahai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board and suddenly, he's a hardened criminal! It's not fair! He got Wagahai had kittens!
There's a fly, goddammit.
Wagahai had kittens.
I'm so happy about that. It's so cute. You.
Okay.
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline, like a great clock, in fact, whose 100 parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. The latest Rance magazine is out and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she won't know, I get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Oh, not bad, I suppose, for an amateur.
Oh, that's awful. Nothing personnel, kid.
Ah, her ladyship puts me to shame.
I'm surprised they let him keep his detective job. I mean, I guess it's because he had his orders for the bigger case, so like they couldn't fault him for that, I guess. Alright, whatever. He gets away with it. All ACAB, all cops are bastards.
Been visiting my old girl on the daily course. Well, Joni, must say battling with those belly stairs every day has been done wonders for the Dicky Preg. Peg? I don't know. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business up. Something. I hope the gossipy neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid. Maid business taped up? Oh god, is he dressing as a maid himself? There is an apron in the background there. Oh my god.
My Rolly's back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper.
There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small change in the gutter. I'm a better Bobby now, looking out for Londoners, their drop pennies, and my lovely wife. Oh. Wait.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Or I think it's the other way.
Yeah, oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
There we go. Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. Iris comes every day for Natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them. Sholmes and his two young women assistants are just sitting there insulting him and calling him names and then telling him how stupid he is when he messes something up. Yes, sorry renounced my upbringing, chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please. Give over, bro. That ain't the Ash we used to know.
Oh my god, like, can you shut up?
The guy in charge to come back in Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, right? The Three Musketeers sits. Milk in the neighborhood for all it's worth. Is he their missing Skulkin brother? That's kind of cute that he posed with them and everything.
Madonna! I'm sorry, she's ruining the credits scene. Wanna come up here? My burger's gone. There's still a whole hour until you get to eat. It's past 6 months, oh god. Painful good guys and wonderful encounters, I couldn't realize that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Oh, is that meant to be like before she left?
Oh, look at them! Look at and his little hat.
Well, fellas, is it gay?
Oh, they're all so cute.
What's this? More credits?
Oh god, more credits.
No, this is kind of cute. Is everybody gonna follow the line? Is everybody gonna follow us? Are gonna be a little marching band? No, it doesn't look like it. Everybody's just gonna pose and be all fancy. At least we get to see Kazuma again, I guess.
Oh, I guess this is actually probably the point where I should be talking about like my feelings in the game.
I already knew I liked it since I had played through most of it with my family around. But that last trial definitely threw me for a loop at the end. That was pretty fucking good. I am really, really excited to play the second game because it seems like they were already planning on like picking up where they left off with the whole like these 4 names, Dr. John H. Wilson, so on and so forth, like that little post
trial thing. Like, they already knew where they wanted to go with that, is what it sounds like when they had this game done. So that means hopefully they'll be able to follow it up with something really good. I hear only good things about the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, honestly, so I'm assuming it just gets better and better. Yeah, this was a good experience, very fun. I very greatly enjoyed all of the character animations. I feel like they did a really good job of like making them unique, but still in the style of the Ace Attorney games. Like, it didn't feel like it was not an Ace Attorney game animation. And it didn't make me miss the 2D sprites either. That is something that's kind of hard to get when swapping from 2D models to 3D models, but that turned out just fine. And I think at that point, it's not that they were swapping from 2D to 3D, because they'd already done that starting from... Oh gosh, was it... No, Apollo Justice still had 2D sprites. When did they start using 3D sprites? Was it Dual Destinies? I think it was Dual Destinies. So I'm pretty sure this game came out like way after Dual Destinies began and they started using the 3D sprites, but like, I don't remember the 3D sprites looking that good. Maybe it's just me being biased. I like how Susato joined this, that was really cute. But yes, beyond the animations, I also really liked most of the plots and trials in this game. Sometimes Ace Attorney trials have this bad habit of like making you jump too far with things. But I do genuinely— oh, sorry. I hit my pop filter on accident. But I feel like in this game, they do a good enough job of not having to make you jump too far. Like, most of the stuff that you have to present and most of the things that you have to press, it all felt very reasonable. I have a habit of, like, when I think I know what's right, not pressing everything, and sometimes that leads in me getting gated, and so I just, when I played through it this time, I pressed literally every fucking thing. And that really helped with keeping things flowing properly. Wait, is Iris gonna join us too after Sholmes did? Come on, get in line. Yay! It's a little marching band. I love them. I doubt he's joining us. You're just gonna stand there menacingly. Oh my god, when you put them all together like that, he does pose with them. He's just doing it more. Oh, he is their third Skulkin brother. That's cute. They can be criminals together. But yes, the plot trials, the plot of the trials in this game are very good. Enjoyed them greatly. The actual step-by-step basis of getting there was pretty good. Sometimes they still went in the normal, like, did we really need to go out of our way to, like, present this evidence when we could have just made the point this way, but, like, otherwise, it's pretty solid all around. So, again, I'm very excited for the second game. It's a shame we only have, like, 10 minutes of it. I thought we'd get a lot further into it, but we'll at least be able to start it today, like I thought. Ew, they did the little thing. That was so cute. Look at that. Is that special artwork for the two of them? Aww. It's got the docks. It's the sun's rising. That's very cute. Oh, I think I've actually got to like select an adventure this time, right? Yeah. The changed music. Hello.
Here we go. We still got 10 minutes. No reason to cut it short. Let's just get into it. We must be back in Japan. Those are cicadas. We are. Haha, I knew it. Oh, no, is it her
Standing
father?
here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean. Those days in London seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital. You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer. I've no doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting some noble cause in court. Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months after arriving home.
I find myself faced with another awful crime. She's back?
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life. As a lawyer.
Let's go. Oh no, she's not
So
back.
please.
She's dead.
I ask for your guidance. Kazuma-sama.
I love this start screen. Hello, it's gorgeous. Also, gay, homosexual, gay. I don't know who this is, but gay. Pink and blue, cotton candy. That is a thing, cotton candy lesbians. 13th of August, 8:26 a.m. Supreme Court Judicature. Defendant's Antechamber 3. Here I am again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself.
Ah, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late.
Oh, yes, good morning, sir.
How'd they recognize you? You cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either.
Oh, dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous, I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born.
Oh, goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say.
Yuji Mikotoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University, a man who, earlier in his life, traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me? You're so cute! Could I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Yes, that's right, miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing. I am Mbami. Born the same year as I and my greatest friend. Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the University Research Laboratory helping my father. And sadly, she's a defendant in today's trial. Accused of committing a truly awful murder.
Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed.
Oh, my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing.
Sorry?
And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am.
It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work.
Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba?
If even your best friend can't see through disguise, I think we can relax.
Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. But, Father? Ah! Is that you, Susato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge? Look at you! You look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Yuma University. A male student. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke up 4 this morning to make a start. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see...
It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial.
My defense? Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me? Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. Ray. It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already, and yet just because you're a woman... What a wretched reason! I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing! Ray, please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just... You really do look so dashing. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice.
Gay, homosexual gay, let's go! Ah ha ha, you should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man.
I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face and all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Susato, do you believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder. Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Because your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence, which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant, counsel, court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once.
You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
Oh! Stand aside! I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Susato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom and with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this?
Yes, quite right. I've got that information from her. It'd only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father.
Ooh, he's gonna be our counsel. That's fun.
I'm Susato Mikotaba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan.
How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san.
Let me see, Susato. I want to see her dressed as a man. Let me see! 13th of August, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1. There she is! Oh my god, she looks so good!
This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami.
Prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency. There she is! Oh, she's so cute.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Excellency, we are ready. Ready! Ah, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo? Is that correct? Sorry? Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, counsel. Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I am Ryutaro, he who is about to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan. Oh. It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, white eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo?
A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken.
But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is, his cousin! That's right, Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Any of them!
What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy.
How dare you! So does everybody's gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her.
Her?
Oh, her.
Please be careful, Ray. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
Oh, I'm so nervous. While I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through.
Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit. Alright. I'm gonna save it here. I got to see Susato. That's all I really needed. Oh gosh. I'll save my final save, I guess. Well, do I need to save it's not even like a game clear, is it? It doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, saving there. Back to title. Don't save. Alright! Thank you guys very much for joining me today for the finale of the 5th case of the first game in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, starting tomorrow, we'll be tackling the 2nd game, and it's all fresh content from here, so be prepared for me to complain a lot when I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you guys signed up for this, it's not my fault. So, thank you very much for spending your time today with me, guys. I hope you guys have a great evening. No, don't click on anything. Sorry, that was to the game. Alright, good night.